In the earliest days of the world, when the earth was still young, and the memories of Eden clung to the air like morning mist, there lived two brothers, Cain and Abel. They were the first children born to Adam and Eve after they were sent out of the garden. Two sons growing up in a world that was both beautiful and broken. Cain, the older brother, worked the soil. He knew the language of the earth, its stubbornness, its silence, slow, patient rewards. He planted seeds, pulled weeds, and waited for the ground to give back what it chose. Abel, the younger, kept flocks. He moved with the sheep across hills and valleys, learning their rhythms, their fears, their trust. Where Cain's world was rooted and heavy, Abel's was wandering and alive. Though they were brothers, their hearts were shaped by different landscapes. One day, the time came for each of them to bring an offering to God, something that reflected their work, their gratitude, their devotion. Cain gathered produce from the fields, grain, fruit, vegetables, what he had grown with his own hands. Abel chose the firstborn of his flock, the best, the strongest, the most precious. They laid their offerings before God. And then something happened. God looked with favor on Abel's offering. A warmth, a presence, a divine acknowledgement settled over Abel like sunlight breaking through clouds. But Cain's offering received no such response. No warmth, no light, only silence. Cain felt something twist inside him, a heat rising from the chest to the throat. Confusion, then embarrassment, then anger. Why Abel? Why not me? What did I do wrong? The questions echoed in him like thunder with no rain.
Why are you angry? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it.
The words hung in the air, a lifeline, a chance to turn back. But Cain's heart was already tightening. Days passed. Cain watched Abel, watched the way he moved, the way he smiled, the way God seemed to favor him. And the anger grew roots.
Brother, come with me to the field.
Abel followed. Why wouldn't he? He trusted his brother. The field was quiet, the sun warm, the wind gentle. And then, in a moment that would echo through all of human history, Cain rose up against Abel. A flash of violence, a burst of rage, a life-taking, the first death the world had ever known. The earth, which had once received seeds from Cain's hands, now received something far heavier. Silence fell, a silence deeper than any before it.
Cain, where is your brother Abel?
I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?
What have you done? Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground.
The words struck like lightning. Cain felt the weight of what he had done, not just the act, but the fracture it created in the world, in himself, in the future. God declared that the ground Cain had worked would no longer yield its strength to him. He would become a wanderer, restless, rootless, always moving, never home.
My punishment is more than I can bear. Anyone who finds me will kill me.
No. If anyone harms you, they will suffer sevenfold.
A sign that even in the aftermath of violence, God would not abandon him. Cain left the presence of God and traveled east, far from his family, far from the fields he once tended, far from the brother he could never replace. He settled in the land of Nod, a place whose name meant wandering. And there he began a new life, a life shaped by the consequences of a moment he could never undo. But Abel's story did not end in the field. His life, though short, became a symbol of devotion, of sincerity, of a heart aligned with God. And Cain's story became a warning of jealousy left unchecked, of anger allowed to grow, of the choices that shape not only our lives, but the world around us. The story of Cain and Abel is ancient, but its echoes are modern. Two brothers, two offerings, two hearts responding to disappointment in two very different ways. It asks us to look inward, to examine the places where resentment grows, where comparison steals joy, where anger whispers dangerous things. And it reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there is a voice calling us back, warning us, guiding us, offering a different path, a path away from the field, a path toward peace. Soft wind fades. Heartbeat slows. Silence